Therapy Army! Let's be having you. Back to life. Back to reality. Back to life. It's just the way it goes, people. It's the way it goes. Second half, we didn't create anything. We deserved what we got. We deserved what we got. I thought the back five did well, defended well. Thought De Gea made some good saves. But in the second half, we created jack all. And you can't keep a 1-0 lead and think that you're going to win it. And then obviously the kid scored the wonder goal. That's a wonder strike. If he does that, I don't know how good he's been at those free kicks, but I'm not seeing him, a guy who's taking free kicks, bending it in. I'm not a Crystal Palace supporter. But it's back to life, back to reality. And the title talk can now be laid to rest. Because for me, we're going to struggle to keep top four. Now, you're going to go, that's too negative. How dare you say that? I look at that bench. We take off Weghorst, and then who do we bring? An 18-year-old and Scott McTominay. That's who we're bringing. That's who we're bringing to try to go and get the second goal. An 18-year-old. And who didn't even get a touch. How many touches did Garnacho have in that second half? We didn't even get him to attack the fullback one-on-one once. We didn't, till it was too late, till it was a bit crazy at the end. So you're bringing Scott McTominay on, and then you're bringing an 18-year-old on in a difficult away trip. That's why we were talking about it last night, saying this game is difficult. Historically, this game is really difficult. And it just shows, for me, this team's not there. It's not. Because we don't have any proper bet. And everybody's having a go on at Rashford. He was limping about the pitch. He might have scored the winner against City. But you can tell he's suffering that knock. You can tell. You can tell he was not his usual self tonight. And at the end of the day, it's what it is. So now Man United are in a fight to stay in the top four or to try to fight for top four. That's what has been. I never bought into all this title talk. Never bought into it. But it just shows you how you can win the champions on Sunday and then put in a performance like that in the second half. Look at my tweets. I'll read you my tweets. I'll read you my tweets. Honestly. This is what I wrote at halftime. Halftime, watching that game, halftime, this is what I wrote. I wrote, we dominated at half, but we only created half chances. We need to have more shots on goal. They're going to come out more in the second half, so we need to be clinical on the counter. Second goal vital. Yeah, that was a penalty. But because the microscope is being on the Man United all this weekend, where the referees and VAR gave us, they were never going to give us that. They were never going to give us that. So I don't know how to explain to the FIFA generation United fans, when Man United get a decision that goes their way, the week after, the whole of the British media football is focused. United were lucky. United got away with it. United, oh, that goal wasn't a goal. All of that's going to happen, and then we're never going to get that penalty. I didn't even write it. I would have tweeted. I thought the elbow to Martinez's head, that should have been a red card. Because he does that. He does that. His elbow goes back like that. That should have been a red card in that first half. Not even a yellow. Not even a speaking to. Next levels. Absolutely next levels. But it is what it is, people. Tom, back to life, back to reality. I don't know if you heard what I was saying, but this is how it is. When you are 1-0 up in the second half at tough away game, you played 3 days before. The squad, it's been a tough, sluggish season already, and you bring in on Scott McTominay, and you're taking up Weghorst, because I thought hold up play, offering himself, being a presence in that half, especially second half, would have been perfect, because hold up the ball, buy free kicks, do all those things, keep the ball in their half, all of that. He gets taken off. We bring on an 18-year-old and Scott McTominay, and we create nothing. In the second half, we created nothing. We played for the 1-0 win, and we got punished, and we got what we deserved. But obviously, it was a spectacular goal. But tonight, how many times did we give the ball away, passes away? How many times? And big up Wan-Bissaka, because we would have lost 2-1 tonight if it wasn't for Wan-Bissaka. Trust me. That's not missing that. But big up to every one of you. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. It is what it is. 9 wins, 1 draw from 10. Incredible goal for this season. Progress. Yeah, no, like, listen, it's progress. But it shows me we're not in this big boy talk, top of the table talk. We're not in that talk. Because it showed me in that second half, we're just playing to try to see the timeout. But Tom, how did you see the game? Go ahead.
I mean, it was what it was, wasn't it? It was a midweek. You could see that the players out there I think they were forcing it in many cases. I didn't think they stuck to their own, team performance or team plan. Rashford, especially, I'm not going to get on him from the weeks of, brilliance that he's had and stuff, but it just felt like he was forcing things. Antony, I'm sorry to say it, I've said it many a times, that this isn't, nothing new. He's so predictable. So predictable. First half, I thought, yeah, he had a decent half and everything, but he doesn't want to run at people, Nuruddin. We paid £90 million for a player who doesn't want to run at people. When we've got a kid from the academy who we've paid nothing for, who would do that in a heartbeat, take people on, make risks, go at people, drive with the ball. He's just so predictable. It's always going to be, he's just going to turn back and pass it back. And then, to me, to you, to me, to you, to me, to you. And that's all we did pretty much. The first half was play keep ball. I think we had about 60% possession. And we just dug into their own half. Listen, the goal itself, honestly, a lot of people might not look at it from an analytics point of view, but Weghorst is the main contributor of why that goal happened tonight. And I'll give you the reason why. Because he's dragged 3 of the Crystal Palace defensive players over to the left-hand side of the goal, creating the space for Bruno Fernandes in the middle. And then Mark Guidi has already got millimetres to try and shift his body to block the shot. Elsewise, Guidi's got to save it, or he's got to blow it over the bar or wide or something. But the only problem with that is with Fernandes in this sort of role that he's got, where you take the ball from the penalty spot. It's like taking a penalty kick, really, and you've just got the right hand side of the goal to aim for. But I looked at the second half. I mean, it was similar to the Wolves sort of game, wasn't it? And they had that last minute chance in the Wolves game, which we got away with again. But today we didn't get away with it. Casemiro, I'm going to say it. In that sort of period, I think he got booked about 75 minutes. I think around about the 70th minute, I think we controlled the game. I think you could have took him off and not run the risk of it. But at the end of the day, we ran the risk of it. And, the challenge that he made, I think he had to make, to be honest with you, because we were cut open on that side. And Zaha, I don't care if it's on his right foot, left foot, or what sort of form he's in. When he plays against Man United, if he gets a chance, he normally scores. Just like you said at the end of the game, if I remember, I couldn't have been in that position. I think he puts the ball in the back of the net. Comfortably. I know David De Gea had a brilliant game, but I just think he sticks it away. But I just think the basis of it all was down to the fitness. I do, and I'm not blaming individuals. I'm not blaming Ten Hag or any officials, because we can get into it about the penalty and things like that. But listen, we shouldn't be relying on decisions to get us out of games. And at the end of the day, you're not going to perform. You're not going to perform.
Never leave it to a referee, Tom.
No,
the rule is, as a Manchester United, because we know everybody hates us, especially in this league. Everybody's against us, so we never leave the game to the referee. To me, the big thing was that the dangerous play from that Gay guy when he elbows, because it was Mateta, wasn't it? Like that. He didn't jump like that. He jumped and went like that. No, I'm sorry. That to me is a red card for me personally, because he's dangerous play. But referee don't even speak to him, and it's not even a foul or anything like that. And Martinez carries on. But the biggest thing for me is that I'm not going to go on about the penalty, because everybody knows the penalty. But after the goal that happened, what we scored, and how the whole media got the microscope and looked at Man United, the whole 24 hours, 48 hours, they've been talking about the goal against Man City. So we're never going to get any decisions tonight, but you don't leave it. I want to ask the question, and big up the brothers joined us. Listen, I'll ask you the question, brother. Why would we not create anything? We didn't create anything in that second half. And I'm telling you now, if Weghorst is on the pitch, they don't score that goal because you know why? If he's standing, he'll be part of the wall. And if he's standing in that wall, that kid is gonna think, I need to get it up higher to get it over him.
I mean, you're doing it was a freak free kick. Like, it was a wonderful free kick. I'm not sure if Weghorst there would have been able to
No,
make
but
any
I'm saying
difference.
but I know when you got 6'6" guy on a wall, it makes
it harder.
It makes them think twice to think, oh, I can't bend it. I've got to go for this side. But go ahead.
No, that's fair. I think for me, the person I'm upset with the most today is Ten Hag. I know people don't like to hear it, but I think
you got to know.
I think this
on
was
this
it
channel
was
is
so
freedom of speech, bro. Listen,
it was
on this
so,
channel is freedom of speech, bro.
Yeah, it was so predictable as far as I'm concerned. For me, the way I saw this game, Crystal Palace offered nothing. Like, they offered us nothing. There was literally very little pressure on us. Whatever attack they started, we were able to snuff it out quickly. I don't see why we couldn't get away with playing McTominay in midfield instead of Casemiro. I don't know what Ten Hag thought he was doing. Everyone kept insisting or telling me that we have to play the first 11 because that's the way we guarantee 3 points. Okay, we played the first 11. Not only did we not get 3 points, we ended up losing Casemiro for the Arsenal game, and we've lost some momentum because it was as if somebody burst the balloon that was inflated. Like, you could feel literally everybody's shoulders drop. And I'm really even more scared about the Arsenal game next weekend than I was before. I think Ten Hag has the tendency that Guardiola has to overcomplicate, overthink, overanalyze the situation when you should have just kept it simple. This Crystal Palace game, there was absolutely no need to start the full first 11. We've lost momentum, we've dropped points, and now we've lost Casemiro in this game. Ten Hag needs to hold some smoke today, as far as I'm concerned.
No, I don't.
Good chat. Thanks, Patrick. See you at the Emirates. Prepare for Partey. No problem, say Miasi. No problem. It's a football game. I want to stay with you, brother. What did you think? You're talking about the team. Put that aside. Let's say the manager made decisions, right? Decisions are decisions, right? A winning team. To me, I'm always about don't look too far ahead. I never look too far ahead. Those games, Arsenal game was always going to take care of itself. For me, I don't look too far because I always think this is the Premier League. There's no easy games. So you got to play who you got to play and play the game. So, but in terms of what happened in that second half, Weghorst goes off. We know Rashford has got a knock. He was limping about the pitch before he scored at Old Trafford against Man City. Weghorst goes off. We give them the ball, and in the second half, we create nothing. We bring on an 18-year-old and Scott McTominay, and we expect to be in a title challenge. Look at the options of the bench. And then people have a go at me when I'm like, we need to sign players. When I mention people like Trossard, that if we are Trossard instead of fucking Scott McTominay, Man United go and try to score a second goal in that because we've got another goal scorer on the pitch. The biggest thing is
Scott McTominay was not the issue today.
The options of the bench after Weghorst is the guy who's holding the ball. He was offering presence. In the second half, Marcus Rashford is carrying a knock. He's not running as freely as he would like to have run. And you saw it tonight. You saw it. You saw he wasn't the same guy. He wasn't doing things on instinct. And that to me is that Man United created fuck all. That's the most worrying thing for me. In the second half, Ten Hag and the team, Ten Hag's come out and said, oh, we should have gone for the second goal. But Eric, you were not at the side telling them, attack. What are they doing? You weren't. You were sat back, thinking we could hold this lead because we got a good defense. Yes, it was a great free kick. It was an amazing free kick. But for me, you don't leave it to the referee. You don't leave it to them doing a wonder strike. You take it out of their hands. And we didn't create Jack Hall.
But Nurudeen, I don't have a problem with who came off the bench. I don't have a problem with McTominay. I think for me, what was predictable about today is that if you have a team who has been playing matches, I think we've played more matches than most of the other teams in the league right now. Fatigue is not only something that affects people physically. Fatigue also affects you mentally. And you could see today that the players were just sloppy. Like, they were sloppy in their passing, sloppy in their one touch, sloppy in their play. Everyone, Wan-Bissaka, Bruno, Eriksen, they were all sloppy. So, like, I think for me, it comes down to the manager not keeping the team fresh. There was absolutely no need.
With what?
To, no,
what are you going to keep it fresh with?
That's my opinion. That the way this game was playing out, we absolutely have enough in terms of rotating some players to see this game out and with 3
With who
points.
though, Sean? This is what I'm saying.
No, but
with who?
we were trying to be too clever by half, and we ended up with the worst of both worlds, with dropping points and with Casemiro out of the game. I don't see why McTominay could not have played instead of Casemiro today. I don't see why we could not have rested Eriksen for the game against Arsenal. I don't see why Rashford had to play today. I know everyone is shaking their head, but as far as I'm concerned, Crystal Palace offered nothing. Like they offered nothing today. Like every single attack they had was snuffed out by a one-eyed Martinez and Varane, who was jogging for the most part. We were in control of this game, and we're playing pretty much on Crystal Palace's half. There was no reason for us to play all the players that we played today.
Sean, that was the first half. In the second half, we gave them the ball and the ascendancy. And the biggest thing was that even in that, David De Gea made more saves in this game than their goalkeeper. You tell me what saves their goalkeeper made.
We didn't drop back. We didn't drop back. What happened was that we were sloppy. We were sloppy on the ball. We were trying to build up, and people kept giving away the ball carelessly.
And Sean, that's what I'm talking about. Because we don't have the bench. We don't have the bench. And now you're telling me play Scott McTominay, who's been on horrendous form lately. Since he's been injured, when he got injured, since he became fit, he's been on horrendous form. Irfan, how did you see the game? Because for me, the biggest worrying thing is that second half, Man United, I agree with Sean. In the first half, we were in control without testing their goalkeeper. We had half chances. The second half, we sleepwalked into them doing that miraculous thing.
Mental fatigue.
No, yes, but who have we got on the bench? That's the problem I'm trying to explain to you. We don't have alternatives. We do not have.
Sure, we do.
Scott McTominay came on. Okay. Today we take out Casemiro. We take out Rashford. Who do we play? Tell me.
We play McTominay and Garnacho, the people who came off.
Oh.
No, as in, I know it's fashionable to dunk on McTominay, but as far as I'm concerned,
no, it's not fashionable because
chill. Before he got injured, McTominay played a key role in the beginning part of this season. If you look back in the past 3 or 4 years,
we lost the first 2 games when he played.
The best games that we've played as Manchester United in the post-Fergie era, the best games against Barcelona, against PSG, against City, against Chelsea, games. McTominay had been a key part of that. He doesn't have to be a starter, but I don't see why in a game against Crystal Palace away from home, McTominay should not be able to play. As a manager, your job is not only to start, to make sure you have a world-class first 11 and world-class bench. You're supposed to coach players. Your part of your job is to improve the players that you have. That's my own perception of what the manager.
Yeah, but Sean, there's some players that you can coach and improve, 100%. but there isn't though. That's the only problem. You look at someone like AWB. People writing him off and saying that we should flog him and everything. I'll be honest, I was one of them. Exactly. Some players you can coach. McTominay, he's had the same amount of time. He's had more games, if not than what AWB has actually had, and more minutes, because AWB hardly played any of the first part of the season, and we've seen a lot more than what AWB has offered us.
So when he bossed the game against Arsenal, so when he bossed the first game against Arsenal, was he uncoachable then, or what? Is it the same?
Listen, all due respect, guys.
One game. Go on.
See that game. Big up Khalis Remedy last year. Listen, there's 159 on you. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I know most of us are frustrated. It was frustrating. That to me feels like a loss. Psychologically, the way we were mentally, to have that happen to us, and then Man United don't create. And the maddest thing is different is this. Except for the 4 minutes in extra time, the 4 minutes in injury time, we created more than we created in the 40 minutes or the 45 minutes in that second half. So, Irfan, how do you explain that?
What you mean? The fact that we tried to do something when they scored an equaliser in the 90th minute? Is that what you're asking me? Is that the question you're asking me?
I'm saying we created more in those 4 minutes. We had a couple of shots.
Yeah. When they equalised.
After 90 minutes.
90 minutes.
Yeah, there was urgency.
Before. So, to me, that's where the game was won and lost.
Yeah, but this is the difference between wannabes and real title challengers. This is the difference. Wannabes coast around the game. I keep saying to you, all these giddy United fans, that we've laboured wins. They are called laboured wins, as in sluggish, slow, okay, you done all right. You did enough to beat them, right? Title winners, they don't do that. They go for the kill. You know, they wouldn't have sat at 1-0 and thought, yeah, we'll coast the first half, like we'll do the second half, inviting them on, you know, and then like you get Sod's Law, you get Casemiro booked straight away. And then I didn't understand the madness of why are you going to bring Fred on? What if he gets booked? It didn't make any sense to me that. But the bottom line is they took it so easy in the first half and they found it so easy. This is on the players as well as the coach that they were just coasting around and they invited Crystal Palace onto us. And let's face it, they don't really have the quality, but they've got desire. You know, they push forward. They just don't have quality. You know, they've got legs. They've got people who can run all day long, but quality in that team is not there. So it's on Ten Hag and it's also on the players. You can't let a team like that who have got nothing, who couldn't do anything in the first half. I mean, let's be honest, their shot that wonder save from De Gea was probably the best part of the first half, to tell you the truth, right? But lucky that we scored, but we were coasting. And in the second half, put the foot off the gas and we allowed this average team to come back in and make us look even more average. And this is the thing. This is how wannabes play. Title challengers don't play this way. Title challengers like Arsenal, they would have gone for the throat. It would have been 2-0, 3-0, game over, done by 70. Then you take your foot off the gas. So all United fans need to stop getting giddy, right? And understand that we don't have the squad depth to do this kind of thing. We just don't.
But neither does Arsenal, though.
You got to trust us. You got to play. No, we don't. Listen, McTominay is out of his depth, to me, in my opinion.
Neither does Arsenal.
Let me speak. You can speak in a minute. He doesn't have the football brain. He doesn't have the football touch. He hasn't got the movement. He doesn't read the game like Casemiro. He's out of touch. You show me what this guy's going to do. So I don't understand. Of all the players that Ten Hag's improved, this is the one guy you can't improve this guy. You can't, okay?
Right,
you can't improve this guy.
Big up fan.
No, being honest. So my point is, United got a reality check in their squad and the desire to be winners because they would have finished the game off 2-0, 60, 70 minutes, maybe 3-0, and then bang. But we got found out today, all right? And then we got double slapped by the equalizer. They scored in the 90th minute and Casemiro getting a yellow card. So look, wake up, people. We're not quite there where we still don't need. Maybe it's a good thing that, it'll take us back down a few pegs and back to reality and say, look, we got a lot of work to do if we're going to get anywhere close. And Micah said, I don't care if we don't win this year. I just wanted to get us in the top 4 so we can build again with a new owner. We can start again. That's all I want. I don't care about anything else,
Yeah. No, you know what?
Listen, big up, fan. Saeed. We spoke. We did the podcast, me and you and Tom, on Monday. I was screaming. I was talking to you and Aaron and the other brother about Man United needing guys who got goals in them. Needing that. We haven't got the strength and depth of the bench to bring on. It's second half. Weghorst is occupying them. The ball, sometimes we'll try to get over their press. He's holding it up. He's doing things. He's got beautiful, nice little touches. And then, obviously, we know that it's a graveyard shift playing at striker for Man United, right? Yeah. It's a graveyard shift because the way we try to play football. You got Antony hogging the ball there. One time, he put the burners on. There's only one time in that game. Yeah. And then, we bring on Scott McTominay and an 18-year-old, Saeed. And then the fact that in that, even when he came on, in that one, when he came on till about 20 minutes till he's been on the pitch, we didn't give him one opportunity to run at the fullback. No. Instead, we kept giving the ball away. We kept coasting, passing it to each other, running around midfield, losing it, and then inviting these really dangerous players of this. But to me, the reason why this game hurts, not because we drew. Going to Selhurst Park is a big thing. And like Irfan said, wannabes. Wannabes do that. Real contenders stand up and get the points regardless by any means. But the second half performance, I am so shocked because we didn't even have any shots on their goalkeeper. No. He didn't have to we didn't get any sustained possession.
But Nuruddin, we won like this so many times. That's what I'm saying. In the 9 we've won, they're laboured wins. They weren't deadly wins. They were wins like that.
Saeed, how did you see it? Obviously, you did the watch along. How did you see it?
Yeah, listen, I'm gutted, man. I'm gutted. Only because, for me, I seen that coming like all second half from the 50th minute, man. And first half, listen, nobody could complain. We dominated the game. Weghorst actually was close to everybody. He was completely opposite to the second half. Second half, for me, I'm sorry, man. Ten Hag's got it wrong because I don't know what the tactics was. And I'm very, very You know, I'm overjoyed by what Ten Hag has done, but you can't. He's done this before against Wolves, where we kept sitting back. You know what I mean? I didn't know what the game plan was. So for me, taking Weghorst off, that was one thing he had to do right, because at the end of the day, he's got 60 minutes. He has to play 60 minutes. But for me, Rashford up front, who's had a shocking game all game, by the way, was not the answer. And then McTominay's substitution for me was odd. Again, I keep telling people, for me, you have to sell this guy. And I've been banging on about it for so long, Nuruddin. You keep saying we need attackers. We need bloody midfielders, man. We need people that can control games. We don't have controllers. Eriksen is old, man. He can't do it for so long. He can only do it for so long. So for me, I've called for controllers. We've been going up for De Jong for so long, but we need midfielders, man. Because at the end of the day, when you take off Casemiro's playing a lot of games. Take him off, then you bring on some midfielders to control the game. Because for me, the game was lost in midfield. Bruno kept giving the ball away. Eriksen kept giving the ball away. Casemiro kept giving the ball away. So for me, I'm sorry, but the midfield for me needs addressing. You've lost Donny van de Beek. You need to go and get a midfielder. I'm sorry, you've lost Donny van de Beek for the season. Go and get a midfielder. Because I'm not hearing bring on McTominay second half. I'm not hearing that. And then Fred is only useful at certain points when you need energy. When you need to control the game, you can't use Fred. I'm sorry. You need to control the game. You need dictators. You need controllers. Michael Carrick, someone of that ilk. Just everybody, calm down. Calm down, man. They've got Hughes and bloody... Who's in that midfield? Eze. Eze is quite good. But the other guy was a winger and he's turned into a midfielder. And they got Will Hughes.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. We need midfielders. And we keep talking about strikers. We have enough out there. Whether they're good or not is a different thing. Whether Antony needs to improve, whether Rashford was poor on his day, whether Martial's out, I get the attackers, but you need midfielders to control the game. Because in that second half, all we needed to do was tell them, you know what? Right, are you getting the ball off us? No, because we're going to keep it all day. We're going to keep the ball.
We were just right at the trigger.
So that's just my opinion. And for me, I'm not going to be. Listen, I'm disappointed, but I don't think we need to be reaction to right. It was an off day. I get it, but I think for second half,
Saeed is fatigue. Saeed is fatigue. It's fatigue. Listen, but I've got a bone to pick with you. Man United do not score enough goals. So how can we contend and have momentum? We don't. We score one goal. You look at our last away 5 games. 1-0, 1-0. Why? We need goal scorers. We don't just need a midfielder. We need somebody who can get a goal for it as well.
So when we keep giving the ball away, what's the excuse then in that midfield when we kept giving the ball away? Eriksen kept giving the ball away. Casemiro, Bruno.
We've been doing it all season, but teams are not being punishing us. But we got punishing. Like Mo, are you there?
I'm here, bro.
How do you see that game tonight?
It's a frustrating game, but I agree with Saeed. They need midfielders. Their whole midfield is tired, fatigued. They need to get top midfielders in. And yes, they need a striker as well. But I don't see them having the players they need for the whole season. The squad isn't. It's not in depth enough to. I'm not going to say league title charge because I don't think we're in a league title charge. I think just to compete for top 4. The squad in depth is too light for me. You need quality in that midfield. Like Saeed said, top midfielders. To be the top 4 these day and age, you need top midfielders. Casemiro eventually is going to get fatigued. Eriksen, Bruno, eventually they're going to get tired. If you're bringing in Scott McTominay on, you're in trouble. Big trouble. And Scott McTominay, just sell him. Put the guy.
I really hope McTominay is not listening to you guys because we need him on Sunday against Arsenal.
I don't think
we don't
play him.
We don't. You might need him on Sunday. We don't. He's awful, mate.
I know we needed him in the 3-1 win. We needed him against PSG. We needed him last season against Man City when we won.
Last season, 3 years ago.
We're watching 2 different players then. I'm watching a bang player.
No, clearly
awful,
we are.
Yeah, we are. For me, he's not a Man United player. He's just sent him to Newcastle. But today's game, we definitely need a striker as well. Like we need a couple of top players.
But Mo, that's this. I kept saying, I don't know why people listen. We already knew Man United in January needed a right back, a centre midfielder, and a striker. We've got a striker now, yeah. But obviously Rashford is still carrying a knock, right? You can tell he was not the usual Rashford, where it's been majority of games that he's played this season. And I'll go back to you, Tom. At the end of the day, bringing on try to hold on for 45 minutes to a 1-0 win
Mm.
when you're giving the ball away, like Saeed says, in midfield. And to me, I've been talking about that more than most. But because we've been winning these games, people have not been talking about that. We've been giving the ball away in dangerous areas for us to be countered in midfield. Tonight, they were taking in turns. At one time, it was defensively, I thought it was good, Wan-Bissaka, but at times he gave the ball away. Bruno, it was that triangle. Varane, Casemiro, Eriksen, giving the ball away. Giving the ball away. Rashford as well. But Rashford obviously he had a knock. And I look at this and I think, well, you need to have options of the bench. Of course, we can't just have one reliable number 6 in our whole squad. That to me is a disgrace because we're putting too much pressure on Casemiro. That's what we're doing. When you have one guy and he's that good positionally, we're putting all the pressure on him. So for me, the Arsenal game, it will take care of itself. With Casemiro, without Casemiro, they're top of the league, they're flying. We could lose, we could draw, we could win. All of those things could happen. But tonight's game for me, I wasn't looking too far ahead. I just tried to tell people about the yellow card. Him and Fred can get it. But for me, in that second half, Man United did not create anything. We didn't test their keeper. Man United, regardless how we play, we always test the keeper. But we didn't because the options are not there and fatigue is hitting right now.
Yeah, I mean, of course, we've said it before. The midfielders that we've got. I mean, don't even debate. Even if he was available today, like he's a viable option that you would bring off of the bench. Like he's a quality option that he's there to use. Players like Scott McTominay, for me, they've had basically a full-time job, a full-time career here, near enough. 5-6 years even through the academy ranks as well, and we've seen nothing resembling consistency in those years. Don't even debate, albeit it's been here 2-3 years, but we've seen a player there that has had those qualities and those attributes. McTominay, we've never seen that consistently in his career at all. And I look at, like we say, with the silly decision that we've taken with Casemiro, ultimately, I think in the end, we should have had a lot more progressiveness in the final third. Like you say, the creativity wasn't, clicking tonight. It just wasn't working. But the only thing that I would take with going into such as the Arsenal game would be that I think Ten Hag's going to have to come up with something new or innovative, because the predictability and the predicted decision now, you've already gave Mikel Arteta your hand, which will be that Scott McTominay will probably most likely be the player who will come in, or you're going to have to play Fred there, which we know McTominay's probably more round physically, the better player to play there. Albeit, I think Fred's the better player out of the two of them.
Tom.
But the only thing that I would say, this is what I was just
Martinez
going to say, Irfan. The only thing that I would say is, unless you shift Martinez into the midfield to play CDM, like he had done for Ajax, and then you play the same midfield that you want with Bruno and Eriksen, then Martinez can try and dictate and control the game like he does for the back line, and then you're going to have to take a gamble. If you play Maguire next to Varane, or you're going to have to play Lindelof, and then you can put Shaw there because he's been consistent, and play Malacia out there because you need players who are going to be hungry.
That's the option, though. That's the last one you mentioned, Tom, is the right one.
I'm just going to say to you, he's not done it, and he's not done it even for Ajax, where they had midfielders injured.
I think.
So I can't see him putting Leacher there against Arsenal. I can't see it. I can't see it. Honestly,
but this is what I mean. You have to be unpredictable. If we're going to be predictable, then we're going to just play McTominay.
One thing, we kept Scott McTominay and sold Jake Garner.
Listen, Gunnar, happy for you to come on, bro. I need to see your face before I let you on the stream. Not you, Mo, not you. There's another guy called Mo. I need to see your face. There you go.
Nurdin, we sold Jake Garner and we kept Scott McTominay. That says it all. We saw Jake Garner and kept Scott McTominay.
Well, listen,
that was
big
a
up
decision,
Tom.
wasn't
Hopefully
it?
you can come back. Listen, it is what it is. Mo, you're a gunner. Talk to us. Obviously, you come to troll us. No problem. You can ring in. I'm not one of those that thinks that rival fans can't have a say at what's going on at United. So, what do you think now? You think you won the game on Sunday? Is that it? 3 points?
Not really. By the way, thank you for having me, and I've been enjoying the panelists speaking. So thank you to them as well. I'm an Arsenal fan, so Casemiro being out is very, very, very crucial to us. I mean, the guy's won it all, 5 Champions Leagues. I rate him very highly, and I can't lie. When he went to Manchester United, there was a part of me thinking, "Damn, he's going to improve that midfield." But what he did was very, very reckless at the same time. There was no need for Eric Ten Hag to keep him more than 50 minutes, because at some point I could see Crystal Palace gaining the upper hand in the second half. They were starting to dominate the ball. They were attacking Man United. And I had at the back of my mind that he might get a yellow card. And I was actually praying for it. I'm not going to sit here and say I wasn't. And when that yellow card happened, I'm thinking, that's a good blow. Now United have to play McFred. And then in the 90th minute, I'm thinking, okay, United can hold it out, actually. They got about 4 minutes. If they park the bus and, try to hold it out, even dominate with the ball, keep the ball, make them run around. What's wrong with keeping the ball for about 4 minutes? But instead, they give the ball away, and
Too much.
the free kick happened. Rashford was absolutely terrible today. He thought he could take on everybody. He had this ideal that, I can dribble every single player on the team. So, I mean, I hope he tries that with Ben White. I hope he doesn't play his game. But yeah, man, I'm not worried at all. I had that initial fear, but now your momentum has been slowed down, and now you have to play McFred. So that worry is like, again, I was at 50-50. I was thinking he can go either way. Even though you guys have had like a recent, in terms of like recency, you guys had a bad record in the Emirates. I was still at 50-50 because your momentum was too high. But then this game brought me back to reality that United still need work. So now I'm like somewhere in the 90% confident, So yeah, man, this Sunday is gonna be interesting. I'm gonna be in that game. I'm gonna go to that game. And I'm gonna watch hopefully Arsenal win. I mean, even though we have Jesus out, and Nketiah stepped up big, and I mean, if you watch that Tottenham game, he was everywhere, pressing machine. He was at the front, he was at that midfield. Again, when you have a world-class striker like Jesus, I don't know if you guys consider him. I consider him world-class because he does more than what striker's supposed to do. He takes his game from, he takes his game from Jesus. Instead of just being a out-and-out striker now, he's dropping back. He's helping with the defense. I mean, just yesterday, the Tottenham game, he was defending at left back. So, you know what? I'm not too worried, especially with the form Odegaard and Saka is in.
This Arsenal game, sorry to interrupt, I think this Arsenal game will show this Man United squad. If let's see how, they like Bruno said, they're playing as a team. I've heard that all before. Let's see this Sunday against Arsenal when the pressure's on. Let's see how they cope, and let's see if they've actually turned the corner, Nuruddin, or if they're the same Man United. This Sunday, if you've turned the corner, you should go there and put a game on.
Listen, the biggest thing, big up Mo. Hopefully, jump on after your game. We'll be doing a match reaction. But nice one, bro. I appreciate you.
No problem.
I'm not gonna wish you I'm not gonna wish you luck. For me, the biggest thing is that I took the tag away. I called them cowardly against City because of the 6-3, and that tag stood till we played City again. For me, they bottled that second half, and I think the whole of the coaching staff, the players. I know some of it is fatigue. I know some of it is because of the injuries. Because Rashford is not. You can tell he's not fully fit. You can see that he's not fully fit, and he couldn't do what he could do because we saw him. All of us saw him at Old Trafford. How hard he was limping and how bad he was hurt. And he wasn't sprinting to certain balls. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. But Saeed, I'll come back to you.
Yeah.
Man United, our biggest thing was going to be fourth, yeah? And we were like, we'll pretend we're in a title challenge. We'll keep the pressure going. We'll keep up there, keep winning till it becomes impossible for us to drop out of the top four. Now, obviously, the bumps come. The fatigue's there. The window's still open. Man United need, to me, it's not just a midfielder who can help with Casemiro's not there. We need somebody who can score from a goal because I'm telling you now.
I know it's not possible, though, man.
Listen, the teams who get relegated, to me, Sancho thing, to me, it's not a Man United play in my head because he's no longer, he might be training now, but he's not being included, unless I see him on the pitch, him and Martial. So those two players, they're out of the way for me. They're not part of the matchday squad in the next 3-4 games. They're not. In my head, they're not. Because this is what's been happening. So, do Man United try to go and find, is this club capable of finding a midfield player on loan who sit on the bench at a top club in Europe somewhere, and as somebody who can play as a number 10 or as a striker who can get goals as well? Because teams get relegated because, hey, listen, teams get relegated because they don't have enough goals in them. teams don't win leagues because they don't have. Teams don't finish fourth because they don't score enough goals. We know that. We know what's coming. I've been banging on about this. The biggest thing to what a team is doing is how much goals are spread around the team and how many goal scorers you've got and how many chances you're creating in a game. Man United's last 5 away games, we don't create a lot. We create 3 or 4 chances in a game, and if we don't score them, we just nick it 1-0. So does this club have it in them? Do they have it in them?
Nah, I don't think, man. This is the problem, man. And you know what the reality is? The sad reality is I don't think we're buying anyone. Because I spoke to Ben Jacobs today. He said, you know, the McTominay sale might happen. But I think we need to raise funds. We need to raise funds from McTominay. Go and get sell McTominay and go and get a midfielder. And I know, listen, the market now is very, very poor. But you got to go and get something, man. Listen, Gravenberch, someone said there, bench warmer. You're looking at Kessie from AC Milan.
Tillemans.
Yeah, but Saeed, you know that's not going to happen, man. You know it's not going to happen.
But
You
how
know
much,
it's not going to happen.
how much would McTominay go for anyway? How much? would he go
Tielemans
for?
is an Arsenal target, I'm sure. But again, we never know who can get in
Any,
here.
any team could take Tielemans, you know. But I'm just saying, we're not going to buy anyone. Yeah.
We can talk about what we want here. That's easy. We can be here. The podcast is over. But the reality is, Ten Hag knows it deep down. He needs a midfielder. Eriksen should have been the icing on the cake. I said it from the start of the season. Please do not put pressure on Eriksen. I love him as a player, but he should be coming on here and there, giving us a boost. We need Johnny van der Beek wasn't even a player before he had his injury. When you technically think about it, now all of a sudden everyone's saying, "Shit, we've lost Johnny van der Beek." When in reality, he wasn't a player. So we should have got a midfielder then. We should have let McTominay go in the summer.
So why sell Jake Garner?
Well, there you go then. James Garner.
James.
Is he even
James
playing?
Garner, yeah.
And
Yeah,
these guys,
no, he's not
You know
playing.
what?
He's not playing for them. He's not playing for them. No.
But
You
the
know
thing
what
is,
I worry about as well?
McTominay get you
James
anyway.
Garner's the youngster. I'm sorry, James
You know-
Garner's the youngster. United should have been going out there for a midfielder, and I said it. We lost. We didn't get De Jong. We got Casemiro. We missed Paul Pogba. We lost Paul Pogba. We lost Juan Mata, and we lost Matic. We only replaced him with one midfielder, and that was
And
Casemiro.
Lingard, and Jesse Lingard as well.
Oh yeah, just
And
Lingard.
Lingard's
Just Lingard.
an attacker. So I don't care, man. For me, you could get the attackers all you want. Attackers, I get it, Nuruddin. We're getting goals. But for me, the principles of a team, midfield is where the game is won or lost. And where was it lost today?
True.
The midfield, because we never took control of it.
but then I
How
got a
they
question
got
to
no money
United
left?
fans.
No, I heard they
Listen,
got
Saeed,
no money left for transfers. Apparently,
listen, Saeed, you know, Afghanistan, we were £1 billion. Listen, they ran the club into the ground.
yeah,
I'm going to stay with you, Saeed.
There's no money left.
And I'll ask the question. You know what? I wouldn't even mind. Did he have to make that tackle? Are we lucky that that Casemiro didn't get a red?
No. Hold
That
on a
was
minute.
quite
For me,
reckless. That was really reckless.
it was reckless. Hold on a minute. For me, Casemiro makes, I don't know what kind of pass it was, but he plays it to Bruno. But Bruno's attempt was pathetic, by the way, to flick it on. Kept doing it all night, you know, flicking it on. Then he flicks it on. Then obviously Casemiro's then chasing the ball, and then obviously he pulls him down. But I just think for me, everyone was pouring at midfield. Everyone, apart from Wan-Bissaka, who played well.
See, that he worries me, Said. He worries me. The fact that Martinelli, again, has the highest take on in the Premier League in terms of dribbling. He tries to dribble players. Martinelli is a very, very direct player. When he comes at you, he's going to try and take you on. He's going to try to skim you and then try and go on towards the goal and score. But the problem is, Wan-Bissaka is probably the best 1v1 defender. And that's what worries me. So if Martinelli can't do what he does best and gets isolated against Wan-Bissaka, then we only have one side to rely on, which is the Saka side. But then Odegaard has been, again, he's been a problem in that middle.
Can I just
Yeah, go ahead, Saeed.
Eric Ten Hag bringing on McTominay. What was the purpose, Eric Ten Hag? Because he doesn't control the game. He doesn't, like, honestly, it should have been Fred before McTominay. At least let Fred get into the game. Because by the time Fred got into the game, it's the Fred of old Fred where he's erratic and he's giving the ball away. Let Fred be the one that starts off before McTominay, and then let McTominay be the one that pulls people down or tries to do some, you know. Some,
What if Fred gets a yellow card? What if Fred gets a yellow? Explain that one to me, Said. What if Fred gets a yellow card?
Listen, we can't live on edge. We can't live on edge.
That's the game, fan. To me, listen, that Casemiro.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, but I'm saying, but I highlighted the lack of squad depth today. We got found out today.
We don't. And that to me, but the biggest thing, the reason why he bought Scott McTominay is for corners and free kick because we lost Weghorst, the height, and that he's good at heading the balls away. To be fair to him, he's good at when we are under the cosh in terms of like corners and free kicks coming. But let's talk about the wonder strike. To me, 9 out of 10, that ball goes out the bit. But to me, if Weghorst is in that, it's in that wall.
In the wall.
I don't think he scores that.
No, he's
And
not going to score. No.
De Gea made some fantastic saves.
Yeah, he kept us in it, man. Kept us
But
in it.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
that Wan-Bissaka challenge, we should be lucky. Even though we feel like we lost the game, we should be grateful that we didn't lose 2-1 because that's hard. 2-1-1. Again, giving the ball away.
That gave the ball for a kick away. Was it Fred?
No, it was Shaw. To be fair, it was Luke Shaw.
Okay.
It was Luke Shaw.
What a
And
player,
Luke Shaw, and that's
Wan-Bissaka
the
is.
thing about Luke Shaw. That's one thing I've been hard and critical about him. On the ball, he's good. Positionally in the centre half, he's good. But he always gives away when he has to chase back. He can never make a clean challenge. He always has to do something to use his physicality and give a free kick away. But at the end of the day, it was a wonder strike. But should we be looking at the other side, looking at a glass half full, then glass half empty? Because we could have lost that game easily. And I'll go to you, brother. I'll go to you, Sean, because that was, to me, crazy. Like, Wan-Bissaka, we got to thank Wan-Bissaka for that challenge on Zaha, because to me, he's through 101 is a goal for me personally. He's finishing. Sean, are you there? Nah, he's probably away. I'll go to you, Irfan.
Yeah, I mean, look, the problem is when you're inviting people like, you know the way Zaha plays, he loves to get the last man and run at you directly. So if you're not calm, and you make a lunge in, he's going to skin you all day long. That's what he did, ever since do you remember when we signed him because of what he was doing for Palace against us when he was a kid? Do you remember? He hasn't changed. That's his gameplay. But the midfield was so slack. The passing was so slack in the second half. You're allowing this guy to run at you, and if he keeps running at you all game, you're going to have to foul the guy. Especially when it comes to, like, I don't know, in that position. I don't know if you had somebody on the left, but it was. I understand why Casemiro did that foul out of instinct. What he does, he knows that he has to take the guy out in a situation like that. That's what he did for Real Madrid for all those years. So I wasn't surprised. But the midfield allowed him, because keep running. In the second half, we got the tactics all wrong. But it showed that we don't have the squad depth. We just don't. Eriksen always tires in the second half. He's not a physical guy. He's not. And this is where you need. I mean, you can't bring Fred on because he's also on the yellow as well, because you need Fred and Casemiro for Arsenal. But again, you can't have them now. That's done and dusted. It's going to be a different game. But the bottom line is the game management wasn't there. It was a laboured win. We keep going. And it was another, okay, it looked easy the first half. But like I said, a deadly team would have finished this off in the 60th minute, bang. And we don't have that intensity. We don't have that energy. And, it is fatigue as well. And it is squad depth. Huh?
We don't have goals. We don't have goals.
No, that's what I'm saying. I keep listen. I didn't get giddy. I know the 9 games we won. We're winning 1-0, 2-0. We're not winning like big game. We're not dominating teams. I watch Arsenal. I watch every single game they play. They're a different level of intensity than we are. Different level. 100%. So I'm saying I watch. This is what I'm saying. United fans need to get a reality check. Maybe next year, if you buy some players, you make it strong. This is just a starting point. We did well to get to this point, but today we got found out.
Man United need to sign 5 players, but Yasser, welcome, bro. Big up to you. Stephen Kramer says, panel, provide solution, not just McTominay. No, 100%. It's not just McTominay. To me, it's goal scorers. We didn't create, and we created, for all the creativity we had on that pitch in that second half, we created nothing. We didn't, that was probably one of the easiest nights for their goalkeeper. I didn't see him even in the first half, we dominated possession. But dominating possession without creating anything, what is that about? Go ahead, Yasser.
No, I mean, and to be honest, I mean, you go on Twitter, it's like, it's like United's on fire. Like, Ev is crazy. I feel like the fan base had completely lost the plot. It's just the reality is you have to have some form of luck to win the league. I mean, you look at the game, you can analyze the game all you want. You can nitpick here and there all you want. You can cry about the whole Casemiro yellow card, but we all know that was going to eventually happen. That's how Casemiro plays. He covers ground. He goes in for tackles. That's his game. How are you going to tell a whole player that do not play your game because you can't? So we all knew he was going to get a yellow card. But the reality is there was a penalty that should have been given that we didn't get. I don't know why the referee didn't call that penalty.
So we were never going to get that. Listen,
we were never going to get that. Not after last week.
Listen, the British football media focused on the Bruno Rashford goal thing for 48 hours. That's what they did. They waited on that for 48 hours. Good try, Stephen McClare. Really good try. You're the guy who shows his willy on my channel. You're that guy, aren't you? If I'm mistaken.
And then Olise scores a free
Are you
kick.
the guy, mate? Are you that guy?
No, I'm not. I'm no.
You
I'm
Newcastle as well?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
I am. I know. I'm an admirer of your channel, actually.
No. Listen, big up, bro, because you know what? You look like the guy who literally comes on my channel, gets naked, and tries to shut my YouTube channel down.
Oh, my God.
I swear to God, you
Thank
look
God
like
it's not you, eh? Thank God, man.
the hair. I think it's the hair. But
Yeah.
apologies, people. But I just had to say it. I had to say it. But you're welcome. Yes, sir. Go ahead, bro, and then we'll go to you, Steve.
And then Olise scores a free kick of his life.
Yeah.
Like, my God, like in the 90th minute. Like, you know, it's just typical United. We're just so unfortunate.
No,
Like,
Yasser, this is different. Like I said, I'll repeat. This is in between wannabes and real titan challengers. We got found out today. You can say about luck and this and that. Luck doesn't come into it in this game. It doesn't come into it. It does not come into it.
Yes, I'm going to ask you the question.
Look.
Did Manchester United do enough to win the game in the second half? Yes or no? Did we make enough chances?
I think we had a horrendous. I agree with you guys. I think we had a horrendous. I think we had a horrendous second half. But at the same time, what did they say? It doesn't. It's the best games that title-winning teams win are the games that they did not deserve to win. That's just the reality.
Not just that. I mean, United surrendered the ball in the second half. They went back into their shell and went deep. That's the problem.
I'm not gonna. I don't want to make excuses. I don't want to make excuses. Let's be honest. This game, we should never been playing this game. We should, like, the Queen passed away. RIP the Queen. They ended up rescheduling this game in between Manchester City and Arsenal. So my honest opinion is like, this is one of those games where it is such a one of quote unquote defining. This, we could all be butthurt about it. We could all be saying, you know what, forget it. We're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do that, and give up. Or we can literally say we're going to the Emirates, we're going to beat Arsenal, and we're gonna challenge for this title. It's that simple. We may not win the league. No, we may not win the league, but come on, don't give up.
But that's the mentality. Because again, if you remember the Arsenal game against Newcastle, we were robbed of 2 penalties. Gabriel was literally pulled within the penalty box and dragged down to the ground. The referee did us dirty that game. Every Arsenal fan was fuming.
Now, listen, it is what it is. But Man United were never going to get the decision on a penalty tonight. And to be fair, we didn't deserve to. Because the 48 hours, the whole British media focused on that Bruno goal. And every decision, to me, the elbow for me was a red card. I don't care what anybody tells me. The way he jumped up and went like
Violent intent.
Yeah, that was the elbow. But go ahead, Steve. Talk to us. Obviously, Newcastle are having a fantastic season.
Yeah.
I told people that they're not arrived, they're coming. Like they're not coming, they already arrived. I saw it with my own eyes when we played you at Old Trafford and you got the draw. You don't lose many games, you draw too many though. You draw a lot.
True. It's true.
So tell me about how you saw the game tonight, and then you can. Second question is, where do you see Newcastle this season? Do you think you're gonna get top 4? But go ahead. The first question: how did you see the game tonight? Do you think, as an outsider, do you think Man United deserved to win the game on the second half performance?
I thought. I mean, I look at it really simple, right? You guys were the better team first half, scored a goal. Palace were the better team second half. They scored a goal. What's the deserved result? A draw. To be honest. No, I think Palace kind of realized, like, look, we got nothing to lose in this game. I think the whole experiment with Jean-Philippe Mateta and Hudson Edouard, it didn't really work out for me. I didn't see them combine enough. It is an interesting idea from Vieira, but clearly Eberechi Eze works much better in that attacking midfield kind of role. So they switched it up, and I think they made a few other changes. Milivojevic came on late, and they grew into the game for me. They grew into the game, and I think the yellow card obviously for Casemiro, real bummer for you guys. So, but ultimately, the squad depth ain't there for you guys in certain key positions. The drop off from Casemiro to McTominay is devastating. Quite honestly, for you guys, it is devastating. And it's like, you guys have been looking for a CDM for a while. You had to drag Matic kicking and screaming to get him through a match a lot of last year, and eventually you had to sub him off, stuff like that. It's just like, you need actual backup for certain guys. You can get performances out of Fred on occasion in certain games when it's all about hustle, intensity, legs, blah, 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 right? But then certain games, he's useless. And then McTominay in a lot of scenarios, he's just not that guy. He's not Manchester United quality. So that's
I mean, we can talk about your club. Obviously, Bruno Gomes, how long is he going to be out for? As we said, you're going to miss him for a couple of games?
Yeah, it's looking like 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay,
but
that's not too serious. I thought it was going to be months, but that's not.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, he was bawling his eyes out against Fulham. I was, really nervous.
Who's the replacement?
What?
Who's the replacement in that position for Gomes?
If you're talking technical ability on the ball, the only guy that we have, unfortunately, he's injured, is John Joe Shelvey. I mean, Shelvey isn't an amazing player by any means, but
he's good on the ball. He's creative.
Yeah, and if you look at our record with a midfield three of Joe Linton, John Joe Shelvey, and Guimaraes, it's actually really impressive. Under Eddie Howe, we win majority of games, but John Joe's been struggling real bad with an injury. So
Joe Linton is very good defensively.
Unbelievable. Oh my God, absolutely unbelievable. And you know what's clever? Nowadays, Joe Linton's being stuck on the wing, and it kind of reminds me of what Federico Valverde does for Real Madrid. He'll play him on the wing. Obviously, Valverde's not a winger. He's a midfielder. Runs, tracks. It's that kind of similar role where it's like, it's more of a 4-4-2, but then Trippier bombs up. It's really interesting how Eddie Howe kind of sets up the team and whatnot. Tactics are really... It's such an upgrade on the likes of Rafa Benitez, slow, dull football. We got some results, stayed up under him. We got us promoted and all that. But
where were you based, Steve? Where were you based?
In the United States. I was born in Chicago.
Okay.
Born in Chicago. So.
Wow. And your accent is not even too strong. Your American accent is not too strong. It's interesting.
Really?
So you've been a football fan for a long time, yeah?
2014 World Cup, Brazil, Croatia. That's the first ever. I was just flicking around on TV, just looking for something to watch, and turn it on. I was like, damn, this is cool. I like it. So
wow.
So
there
yeah,
you go. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Listen, I'll go back to big up Khalis Ramadin Lassie. We've got 300 of you in here. Please smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Hit the notification because it lets you know when we're live next. This is some comments after the game tonight. I was running through. I had a look back, and I thought, oh my God, it's Aaron. He's the only one who can do that scoop tackle. So this is that is basically that. This who's talking here is Saha. Saha when he went through. Should we be lucky, Yasir? Should we think yes? We were lucky to get away with 1-1 because if he goes through, we get slapped, mate. We lose the game.
That's a good point. I don't know. I don't say lucky. I just think Aaron Wan-Bissaka should be a player we should be talking about. I know we dropped points today, but man, what a performance by Aaron Wan-Bissaka today. Like, man, the kid, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, and I'm so happy for him. This one player that I'm so happy that he's actually playing phenomenal is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, because a lot of the fan base said he was useless. We should sell him. He's this. He's nonsense. Blah blah blah. And Aaron Wan-Bissaka never came out. Never talks. I don't even think I don't remember how his voice is. Just put his head down. Worked hard. Worked his head off, and now we see the result. And as much as you could say, we were lucky, that's what Wan-Bissaka does. One of the best defensive right backs in the league. It's not even close. Like, he probably is the best defensive right back in the league. Like, one-on-one, when Wan-Bissaka's on his game, there is no one passing him. No
Reece
one.
James?
I think he's, in terms of one-on-one, yeah, he's better than
No, defensively. He's talking about defensively.
Yeah.
Right. No, yeah.
Yeah,
defensive.
I mean,
Reece
because
James,
I asked him,
but
and
yeah,
that was a phenomenal, like, and he was so
Yeah.
clean, and it's like it's one of those like tackles that if other players do, you can tell is a little bit uncomposed. It was a composed tackle.
Yeah,
Both
yeah.
sides
Spider legs, innit? Spider
yeah,
legs. Spider
clean
legs.
on the ball, and it was.
I've got a question for United fans then.
No, no, just
So-
listen. Look, one second, bro. Let me just read this out. Big up Khalees from Medina, last Chief Report United, Real Therapy. It said, Ten Hag, I felt we controlled the game. We played okay. It wasn't a top performance. Oh, certainly wasn't. I think we have to invest more in the second
Yes,
goal.
I
But
agree.
Eric, that's the thing. Listen, we're going to do the player ratings in a minute, but honestly, and the manager ratings, and that goes into the whole thing. But there was no intensity from the bench from him tonight. I didn't see him going, we need to calm down, control the ball, telling people off when they were giving the ball away. I think he just thought we can hold out 1-0. And to me, that the record tonight, Man United have not lost a game once we've been ahead in the second half. But
Yeah.
the record is gone now because we usually win when we're winning 1-0 in the second half. We usually win. But listen, big up to everybody. Let's get into the player ratings. Obviously, we got two guys. You can give your player ratings, obviously. Big up. Let me just see this. Super chat. Oh, this is it. Okay, this is saying big up Sammy as it says, Irfan, no Casemiro. How will you cope with us on Sunday? We're winning the title. Yeah, it seems like that at the moment.
Listen, we have
Well,
Fred
it's too
Bean.
early, no, it's too early. You know, you can say that in 10 games' time. It's still too early, you know.
I agree.
halfway
Also,
is too early.
Yeah, it's halfway now.
Of course, it's too early.
Yeah.
There's how many games to be played? There's over 20 games to be played.
57 points left. 57 points left. 57.
Yeah,
played.
are we halfway? We're halfway now, right?
We've got,
Yeah, we're
no, we
halfway.
passed. We just passed. So we played 20 games. We've got 18 games left.
Yeah, 18 games.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
54
Listen,
points.
No, we played 19. Sorry, I think we.
I guess it's
I
all.
think
It's
some,
all how
some
you.
teams play 20. Some teams play 20, I think.
Oh, okay.
I guess
Yeah.
it's just how you look at it. Kind of glass half full, glass half empty. Halfway there, or still halfway to go if you're Arsenal or any of these other teams. Maybe.
And I got a question for United fans. So seeing the form that Wan-Bissaka's in right now, I mean, he's been spectacular for the past few games I've watched him. Especially, the tackles he's been doing. I mean, right now he's actually adding attacking prowess to his game now. I've been watching him overlap that right side just today right now, actually. He's been doing a lot of overlapping. If only Bruno gave him those balls instead of actually cutting inside, he would have actually, showed how much his ability on the ball has improved. Seeing the form is on, and I'm sure that Diego Dallo is also returning. Who would you guys prefer to play on that right side, him or Diego Dallo, if he was fresh and fit?
No, at this moment in time, Diego Dalot knows the system. He knows the system. The only thing about what I worry about Wan-Bissaka is the ball in the air and the switch. So if Arsenal try to get the Martinelli to the back post for headering and getting him in there, they're going to cause us problems because he can't defend that. Because people forget, less than 4 years ago, Wan-Bissaka was a winger. He doesn't still have defensive. He goes to sleep. Today, he didn't. And luckily, he's got pace that can gets him out of trouble a lot of times. Now, but one-on-one defensively, when the ball's on the floor, he's incredible. But positionally, on that back post, as the right back, on that diagonal ball that comes from the opposite side, it is, and that's what City scored from. De Bruyne crossed it. Grealish is there. He's got the job. All he had to do is get closer to Grealish, and Grealish doesn't get that like free header. He doesn't score. He might have still scored, but it would have been an incredible header. But he wasn't there to put him off. He stood off him, and that's the thing. That's the little tangibles. But at this moment in time, he's the best. He to me, you keep your shirt, mate. You're in the team. You're there. But anyway, guys, listen. Big up to everybody. Please let's get the player ratings in there quickly. Irfan, I'll call to you, David De Gea. I thought 7.5 tonight. The free kick, it hit the bar, and when it hits the bar, and then it's in the bin, like top bins. I'm not gonna blame him. I'm not gonna blame him.
Beck said if you hit the inside of the post of the bar, it's unsavable, right? Didn't he have some quote like that?
You can't save it. You can't save that. So David De Gea for me 7.5 because he made 2 fantastic saves before that. Go ahead.
I'm giving him an 8 because I thought the first one in the first half of the I forgot what the guy's called, Edouard, was a beautiful save. That fingertip, because remember he had not touched the ball. So when you make a save like that and you're cold, relatively speaking, as in cold in the game, I think that takes serious concentration. So that was amazing. So I give him an 8 for that save alone.
I'll stay with you, Wan-Bissaka. I'm giving him a 7. What are you giving Wan-Bissaka, Irfan?
He's 8.5, man. I thought he was our best player. You know, he's on form. I've watched him last 4 or 5 games. This guy's on form. Like I said, you know, the brothers right. Yasser said, you know, we wanted this guy out last year because he was offering nothing. His confidence was dropped. He was finished to a degree.
That's-
And then you saw Dallo, how well Dallo came on, and obviously since Ten Hag has made him a different player, and he was on top form. I think we're missing him. We're missing his runs down the right at the moment because, you know, he was on top form till the World Cup. So he rightly displaced Wan-Bissaka, but Wan-Bissaka's come back. But Wan-Bissaka doesn't quite have that positional sense that Dallo's got, and he doesn't quite have it in Ten Hag's team. But you know, this is how it works. This is what also to do about the squad, and whether you've got a squad that can win or not. We don't quite have it. But yep.
Yasser Varane.
Oh, I thought Varane was good today. I don't remember him doing anything wrong.
6.5, 7, 6.5.
I think I give him a 7. Yeah.
The back 5 did well, to be fair. They didn't score, but the free kick was what they scored. It's the attack that let us down today. And the midfield will let us down. I'm going to give him a 7. Yeah. Martinez, yes, sir?
Yeah, I think Martinez was good as well. I give him a 7 as well. I think they both played a similar game.
Mo, obviously you're not a United fan, but what did you think? And Steve, what did you think of Varane and Martinez?
Class. Both of them 7s for me.
I thought Martinez played slightly better than Varane. Varane would again. Varane never had a bad game. You think he had a very good game, but I think Martinez was the lining shite in that central defensive position. I mean, not the centre back position. He was distributing the ball. He was always the last man. He would tackle. For you guys, Martinez really changed that defense. I'd give him somewhere like, 8, just because his distribution. He was easing the pressure off the midfielders and giving the ball smoothly to the transition. So yeah, I'd give him an 8.
For me, I'll give him a 7.
Meridian, the problem with Varane, I give Varane a 6.
Sure?
My problem with Varane, Martinez, I give it 7. But Varane gave the ball away too much today. That left foot, just hoofing it, out to the front, giving it away. That you can't do that. Get Arsenal, you get punished for doing that. You've got to keep hold of the ball better.
I'm giving him a 7, but he gave the ball away. He gave the ball away.
To be fair, whenever he gave the ball away, he cleaned up his mess. To be fair, or the side.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be creating a mess in the first place.
Right. No, but I mean, I guess it happens.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying.
Listen, big up. Dixon says, why we're not talking about Antony? He's the problem on the right. He's cutting back constantly, breaks down our attacks.
He's still developing.
Listen, 100%, but he's 23 years old, if I'm not mistaken. Right. It's not his fault that Man United paid 30 million, 35 million over the price, what it was in June, when the transfer window opened. That's just to blame the club. That's not me saying it. That is the Swiss football firm who looks at transfers, who said Manchester United overspent in the summer by 77 million. So, to me, we have to give him a chance. We have to be patient with him. I think he's already got 5 goals so far this season. He's only been here for 4 or 5 months. So we have to be patient with him. I'll go to Luke Shaw. Why do you think Luke Shaw played tonight? I don't think he had a good game, Luke Shaw, me personally. I don't think he had a good game. I thought, for me, giving a free kick away in the last minutes like that is dangerous. And all he had to do was just kick the ball out for a throw-in. But he went in with his physicality, and we got punished. So for me, he gets 6.5. Irfan, Luke Shaw?
Yeah, I mean, look, I think 6.5. I mean, again, he's been on good form. But again, that the game management, the fact that, he slid in and, and basically made that sort of last tackle in a difficult situation. This is a thing, you see. Every situation when you're only 1-0 ahead is potential bomb. It's like a time bomb. And that's the problem with the team. So a mistake that you might have got away with, in another game when you're only 1-0 down becomes super, super hard on you because it was the level because of that. So he would have got away with that many times before. But this is what I'm saying. He needs to learn. You can't do that
But he always gives free kicks away on that side because he's too lazy to get back and make the clean challenge.
No, but Meridian, it's game management. It's game management, man. That's what he didn't have that. He showed, this is what I'm saying. Where's the captain to say, look, guys, we've got 5 minutes left. Let's get a grip. And, this is the problem. We're not quite there yet. We're not solid.
Nobody went down, Irfan. Nobody went down, tried to take the sting out the game. Nobody did all of that. No. Listen, Yasser, what does Luke Shaw get? For me, 6.5 for me. And that's generous because he gave the free kick away. And he always does it.
No, Efron is 110% right. Like small margins, like that's one thing I feel like this team needs to develop is how to manage the game.
Yeah.
Like this shithousery. Like
Mm.
like like you don't have if you see your team not playing well, seeing Crystal Palace get into the game, then take a foul. Don't run with the ball when you don't have to. Like this is we're gonna get into Rashford, but this is one thing. Rashford's not having a good game, but then game management. Getting a foul in their box or in their area is a lot more better than giving the ball away. So yeah, I agree. 6.5. You got to manage.
Right. We're gonna move into midfield. I'm giving Eriksen 6.5. That was Casemiro's worst game as in the Man United shirt for me. He gave the ball away a lot, and he had to make that because his pass to Bruno and him and Bruno were shocking. So Eriksen for me gets 6.5, and that's generous because second half I didn't even see him. Second half is non-existent. I know why he was taking off. The first half he set up the goal. He was on a 7 from me from the first half. Second half 6.5. Bruno who scored that goal for me again 6.5 because he keep giving the ball away. And Casemiro for me 6.5. But where do you agree or disagree, Irfan?
I thought
all the team midfielders get 6.5, and that's generous for me.
I thought Casemiro was pretty slick in the first half. I thought he was just there. His positional sense, always making the tackles, putting the invention. Okay, he does give he's not the best passer in the world, but his positional sense is there's nobody like it. That's what makes him a supreme player. But you see, I don't think Eriksen did anything in the first half or second half. He tried to play a few long balls, switched to play. Didn't really do anything, but
I thought he helped us control the game without creating.
No, I don't think. I've not. This is not the Eriksen I used to see at Tottenham. It's not him.
Erfan is 30, so and the guy died.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm just telling you what. Yeah, I'm telling you. I thought he just had an average game. I watched the guy all the time, and he's the only guy that can.
In his first half, the level of composure, making himself available, keeping the ball moving was brilliant. Was a brilliant away performance.
I thought that was the average. That was the okay average. Eriksen, I give him that. And then who was the other one you said? Eriksen gets a 6. Bruno again frustrates me. Scores a goal, but too many of these flicks today. Too many flicks today again.
For me because they both made the goal. One
they get a 6.5 for the goal, but I don't think it was a game that should be proud of both of those two, especially not Bruno. Bruno should have seen the game out. Bruno should be talking to defenders in the midfield saying, "Look, we got to get this together." He's not acting like a captain, to tell the truth. He's not.
Okay, Yasa, what are you giving those 3 midfielders?
No, I don't disagree. I think defensively, Casemiro saved us a lot. That's the thing. Like if you look back in the game, Casemiro in terms of reading the game, yes, I understand that on the ball, it was contagious. The whole entire team, we were just losing the ball left, right, and center.
That's fatigue, man. That's fatigue.
I think in every single game, man.
Yeah, I think Casemiro had a better game in our entire midfield. The issue I have is Eriksen. This is nothing new. Eriksen gets tired. That's what happens. He runs out of gas in the 60th minute, and we all know this. And this is where I wish that Erik ten Hag made a sub and took out Eriksen around the 65, 66th minute. You've done a job. You played well in the first half. You're tired. You're gonna probably play in the weekend. Take out him. Then put on whoever. I mean, I would have put on Fred, but and that would actually give us more steel and actually help us end the game better. I just feel like we lost control of the midfield, and Crystal Palace. That's how much they grew into the game because we just allowed them to have possession and just started to play around us. So I agree with the 6.5 for Eriksen. I don't know, Bruno is Bruno. I don't know. It's hard to rate Bruno. It really is. Because I feel like what we expect him to Bruno will never be what we expect of him. He will never. He will do what he did today, where he scored the goal today. He will bounce around in the box. He will be that creative outlet. So I don't know. I think I agree with the 6.5 as well. So yeah.
Listen, 6.5, all 3 of them get for me. Listen, 100%. I think you're gonna smash Crystal Palace on Sunday.
Yeah, mate. Yeah.
I think
you will.
I think you're gonna smash them because you're.
But they're horrendous. Crystal Palace is bad. They're really bad.
That's what I'm saying to you. That's what. But when it comes to Man United, we didn't. We took it. We lost the game. Well, we drew the game, and we could have easily lost that game because the second half performance. I know Newcastle are not going to play that as bad in the second half. No way are they? They're not.
But no, isn't this like I love Eric Ten Hag. I love him. I'm always gonna back the manager, but a lot of these players played in the derby not too long ago. I feel like certain players didn't have to play today. They didn't have to play. I didn't think Crystal Palace was. He could have played fresher players. Could have started with Garnacho. He didn't have to.
No. Listen, this is where I disagree.
You can't, Yasser. You need the young guy, 18-year-old for the next game.
I need to really seriously explain this bit to you. Garnacho, it's very difficult for him to start in a game away from home because defensively, positionally, hasn't got that part of the game yet. He wants the ball to feet and he wants the ball to be played in behind so he can run up and score goals. He doesn't understand the other side of the game. And that's what Eric Ten Hag was talking about in the press conference yesterday. This is from the quotes that are coming out. He has to learn. In a Premier League, you can't carry anybody. He has to get back and double up, and without us getting exposed. And that's the reason why he can't start. He comes on later when the other team's tired, when he's fresher, and then he goes in the impetus. But Antony, what are you giving him, Yasser? Antony?
I think Antony was horrendous today. I'm very harsh on Antony. I'd give him a 3. I didn't think he was good.
I think that's a bit too harsh. To me, I think he gets a 5.5 from me. I thought he held that in the first half. He did some good things, but in the second half, Man United didn't play and they didn't even give him the ball. So 5 from me. Irfan, how much Antony get from you?
He gets a 6 from me because I did actually see him try and take on somebody. I tried to see him get to the byline, and the guy defender caught up with him. Yeah, that's I forget what the guy's. That is what he needs to do 7, 8, 9, 10 times a game, where he's had the bravery to run outside. I don't care if he doesn't get across, but this to try because he always checks back in. And look, and United fans are expecting a lot because it's not like I said. You said it, the price tag's nothing to do with him, but he needs time to settle into what is expected of him at Man United. So I'm going to cut this guy a bit of slack, like I'm cutting the manager some slack. So I know a lot of people hate Antony or hate him and say this and that, but not yet. Okay, I agree with where they're coming from, but it's too early to diss him too much yet. So, like I said, when I saw him going outside, it gave me some hope that he will, because it's the first time I've actually seen him do it. I've never actually seen him try to take on a guy and run around the outside. So, for that, I'm giving him a 6. But I just want that more in the game.
Okay, Rashford, for me, Rashford gets a 5.5. He's injured. That's why I'm giving him the 5, because he's injured. He had a knock. Everybody in the stadium thought he was never going to come out in that second half. And tonight we saw it. So for me, he gets a 5. And how much Rashford get from?
Wait, is he actually legit injured?
He wasn't there today.
He
wasn't there today. He wasn't in the game at all.
He didn't look fully fit to me.
Yeah, he doesn't, because that's why he was
anywhere near it.
Exactly, bro. He scored the goal in the second half in that game. 5 minutes to go in that game, and because he was limping and he wasn't running for any games, so he gets a 5.5 from me. And because it's not his fault, he's injured. But we haven't got anybody else to bring on to play. Who can play like that, and he had to play. And I thought he was a bit too greedy tonight. At times, he was a bit too greedy.
Can I say something about Antony? Well, I've noticed about
we're gonna finish it. Weghorst.
Okay.
Go to you, Yasser. Weghorst. For me, Weghorst. I thought it's 6.5 for the first game of United. I thought in the first half he showed some brilliant touches. He came to the ball. He came short. He touched it off, and it was the last pass that was missing to set him through. So 6 point, and to me, a brilliant debut. When you look at it, I thought he occupied the 2 centre halves, and they couldn't play out from the back. He occupied them. He kept pressing them. I thought he worked hard. He's always a graveyard playing striker for Man United, because our midfield is not good enough to be so dominant to create chance after chance for him. So, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, I won't disagree, but the issue I have with this team is we don't have goals, like you said. We don't, guys. We just don't. I mean, as much as I said a good performance, he held up the game. His held up play was actually very good today. I mean, he occupied the defense. Yes, he brought other players in. But at the same time, I feel like the issue we have massively is Rashford is our only goal scorer. And if Rashford has a game like he has today, where he was I know you said he was hurt, but he didn't play well. We don't score goals. So I don't know. I won't disagree with a 6.5, but man, we desperately need more goal scorers. We do.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna say with you, what you giving Eric Ten Hag in that game management for the second half performance? What do you give him?
I think. I mean, I'm 5 to be honest. I thought his game plan for the first half was good.
7. He gets a 7 for the first half for me.
Yeah,
7.
so I think
Second half, he gets a 5.
Once we're 1-0, we're 1-0 up in the half. Second half, when he started to see that things were not going right, then I think he should have been more proactive. And for me, he wasn't. So
problem is,
go ahead. We'll go 1 minute. Irfan, do you agree Weghorst 6.5, and do you also agree?
Yeah, no, definitely. Weghorst definitely gets a 6.5 because remember, that was a big thing for him to try and play at that level at Man United, and I think he did okay considering he's been thrown in at the deep end, and he offers something Man United don't have. He's there. He occupies defenders, so I'm happy with the guy. I didn't expect much more. I know he's not the quickest guy, but I'm cool with that. I'm cool with giving him 6.5 definitely. He was saying, did you say Ten Hag as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ten Hag to me, look, I could blame Ten Hag for the game management and seeing that they were inviting Palace on in the second half. I could blame him for that, but then I don't blame him really because he doesn't have the team. He doesn't have the players. He's just not.
No, Irfan, this is where we get it wrong. The level of intensity on the touchline when I was at the game against Man City was incredible. He kept grabbing every time the ball went out, grabbing somebody, telling them, this is what you're doing. Today, he was sat back, chilled.
Okay, fair enough. So, no, I'll stand corrected on that
when
point.
They were giving the ball away in the second half, he should have been out on that.
Yeah. You mean like Arteta? Yeah, Arteta. Listen, I'll take that point. But what I'm saying to you is, why I don't give him too much grief. I did give him grief at the start of the year. But what reason I don't give him too much is because we are in a team in transition. This is the first 4 months of transition with this guy. So I'm not going to give him too. He's going to learn from all these mistakes he made, like today. He's going to learn today. So again, I'm not cutting him. I'm not giving him too much grief again. No, because you love him last week when we beat City, and you hate the guy this week.
No, Irfan. I'm sorry. You're getting carried away like these.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about fans. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about fans in general.
Irfan, we're not bringing the City game into it. We're judging the game today and that second half.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
So forget about the City game. We're judging him. It's not about loving him or hating him. It's about what the performance was from the manager managing the game in the second half, where Man United created zilch. We created 2 chances in the last 4 minutes in injury time, but in the whole of 45 minutes,
that's what I'm saying. But Nuruddin, but I look. Okay, where I stand corrected. You're right about the fact that he wasn't waving his hands and say, "What the hell are you guys doing?" I get that's
we created nothing. And
I know. But wait a second. So all right. So okay. But wait a second. All right.
He said after the game, he said we should have gone for the second goal. I'm sorry, Eric.
Nuruddin.
I didn't see any intensity from you on the touchline telling this team to get up the pitch and stop giving the ball away in midfield. I didn't see that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. And so that's on him then. So that
he gets a 5. He gets a 5. That's what he gets. He gets a 5. That's what he gets to me second half.
Okay, so wait a second. So okay, 5. Normally I'd give him a 6, but you're giving him a 5. But I'm saying because the way you're talking is now expectations are risen higher this time.
No, it's not expectation. It's not about expectation has risen. For me, I'm judging it. I'm not judging an expectation, title, challenge, anything. I'm judging Crystal Palace, who are being woeful. They've been getting slapped right, left, and centre, recently. They've been on a losing streak. And tonight, if it wasn't Wan-Bissaka, we would have lost the game. Because our second half performance in attacking play was non-existent. We did not test their keeper. We scored 1 goal. We had 2 or 3 shots in the first half.
All right. So wait a second. All right. So wait a second. So is it the team's fault?
No.
Or is it Ten Hag's fault? Is it combined?
Irfan, they come together. We haven't got enough goals in this. We haven't got enough goals.
No, it's not just that we haven't got goals, Nuruddin. We're not that type of team yet.
But what's even more worrying, we didn't concede anything. Go ahead. We didn't create anything in that second half. And this is Crystal Palace. Newcastle are going to go there on Saturday. Was it Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday, 12:30 kickoff or 5:30. Yeah.
There you go. Anyway, that's the match thing done. The update, guys, I've just got an update for you on the Glazer thing. By the way, apparently, according to reports, right? And then I'll let you in, Mo, and then Steve, you can come in.
Hmm.
According to reports, Liverpool are getting investment. They're not getting they're not getting bought out. Apparently, Liverpool. That's what the news I'm hearing. The news that I've been hearing in the past. This is on good people who are Liverpool fans who are telling me this. So
Right.
we'll have to see. But just to update you guys, is this just to say, so US equity, this is on the Glazers here. US Equity Fund have stated that they are interested in possibility of a minority stake in Manchester United. They're looking to take 25% stake for Class B shares with a valuation around 600 million. Just a bit of so this private equity firm, always want. They're like a hedge fund, venture capitalist. They always want to return to 3-4 years out of the money that they invest. Right now, Liverpool they might be getting investment. The Glazers could be getting investment. So just letting you know, when I say I have to see them this full sale, I have to see it. I have to see it to believe it. That's where I stand, because the news is out there and it is being conflicting. Absolutely conflicting.
I waited years for a takeover for Mike Ashley and I was at the same mindset, Nuruddin. Same exact mindset, because at Newcastle, I'm sorry to interrupt if I did anything, but seriously, for real, waited years. I've only been a fan for about 7 years, but there were about 2 or 3 legitimate buyers for Newcastle. And when when finally it happened, the week before it, I was like, there's no way. I've been down this road before. Yeah, I'll see it when I believe it. I don't blame you.
No,
That's what bad ownership does to you. It scars you. And it's like you just expect crap every week, and oh man.
No, here's the issue though. Like, you're 100% right. I've been trying to follow all this sale, but there's not a lot of concrete reports out there. There simply isn't.
Right.
But the thing is, sometimes I like to think about like what would, like, just to think of like how the Glazers think and how FSG think. Why would they sell the club if they can get an investor?
Exactly.
If they could get someone to invest in the club, what would be the benefit of them selling it? For I understand, like, the benefit might be, they sell it for 6.5 or 6 billion, but the notion that United, they might not get that money from United in 5 or 6 years, I don't agree with that. So they will always end up getting the money they want if they're so United. So if they can bleed the club dry by getting an investor, why wouldn't they do it?
Look, United is one of the biggest clubs in the world, and no matter what you invest, you're always going to get some sort of return.
Yeah,
that's what it always comes down to. Share sales, match day goals. You're always going to get profit in return, if not doubled, if not quadrupled. You're always going to get doubled your initial investment. That's the point. So Man United, however way you look at it, it's a lucrative business idea. So what these guys do, and again, 1/4 is a tiny piece of the pie. So they're investing very little, and they're getting much more out of it. So again, it's just the Glazers, plastering over the cracks. They're trying to basically show that, we're looking to have a small investment to please the crowd. I think Glazers don't want to leave Manchester United. I think they're going to stay for much longer than they actually show. This is just another way to downplay the United crowd, or to, paper over the cracks so they don't look upwards. So I think when the Glazers out, again, this is the same thing that's been happening with the Arsenal fans. From 2013 till now, I have been screaming Kroenke's out. And even till now, even though we're first in the league, I'm still screaming Kroenke out. The reason why is we're 18 days into the transfer market and we still have not signed a player. We're in a title challenge. This is a moment for us to step up and actually win something after 18 years of disappointment. Why do we not have enough depth? I'll tell you exactly what they will say after the end of January. We will sign nobody. They'll force Arteta to come out, and Arteta will say we couldn't find the right quality. To please the fans, they're going to give us the Saliba and the Saka deal, the contract extension, just to make the crowds quiet. The American owners, sorry to say to the American over there, American owners don't care about the Premier League clubs. They don't. They use them as investments. Kroenke, FSG, Glazers, they're all the same.
But the only difference between your fan base and our fan base is that there was 25,000 of us protesting on Saturday in a derby game in the rain. We were protesting.
Yeah,
And
Arsenal
the
fans
news-
won't have
it
that.
doesn't
Arsenal
make
fans
the
are going to come in
news.
the thousands.
Listen, it doesn't make the news because the media, it's almost like the Glazers have bought out the media. But there's 25,000 of us protesting and it doesn't make the news. But Everton's like a couple of hundred fans questioning the players, that gets mentioned. All the siblings soon cut ties except Joe. Avram wants quick buck because of their business are struggling. Now, 100% I agree. Listen, all I'm doing is reporting the news. What's the latest is. So 1 minute, some reports are suggesting it's a full sale. Other minute, they're saying, we already know one person who's bidding for Man United. That's Jim Radcliffe. And we're waiting for other bidders. So we will see. We will see. Only time will tell. But for me, I have not moved away from. I've been done by the Glazers that much. I am not. I have to see it to believe it. And if you want to find me, I'll be at a crazy party going apoplectic outside Old Trafford. If you want to know when the time happens, wherever I am, whatever I'm doing, if I'm still on this planet, if I'm still on this earth, the day those vultures, those parasites leave this club, that's the day I'm going to be going crazy outside Old
You're gonna
Trafford.
throw a disco.
But the biggest thing is, big up, bro. It is a disco. But the biggest thing for me is that the difference between us and your fans, Mo, is that your fans get too giddy, and I've not heard Kroenke out since when? Since the Super League.
Exactly.
I've heard nothing. Man United, we've been protesting against them for 17 years.
Yeah.
It's like we've been in jail for 17 years. Our decline is not natural. Our decline is orchestrated and structured by the Glazers,
It's
and everybody
planned.
knows it.
Yeah.
And
Everybody knows it.
Nurdin, I'll say this something you said earlier. Just a little bit ago about the journalists and the media. 1,000%. All these big clubs have all these journalists and media in their back pocket. The one guy that pretty much opened my eyes to that was Fabrizio Romano. I remember when Fabrizio Romano broke out when he was working with Di Marzio, regular guy. The guy completely changed once he became big. Now he only reports things that the club allowed them to report. So in terms of this takeover bid, no one knows anything. And anyone that says they know anything about this takeover, they are a liar. No one knows anything about who's going to buy United, what's going to happen with United ownership. No one knows. And anyone on Twitter that says, "Oh, United has been this, that," liars. They know nothing.
No, if you do find out, you're going to get blacklisted and you won't make it big because every journalist wants to make it big. They want to become the reliable source. So you won't make it far if you're taking on a powerhouse like the Glazers and Manchester United as their equity. You won't make it far.
You know what's interesting, right? One journalist will be fed something, and the only way you know that what that person said was accurate and correct is simultaneously every journalist says the same thing.
Yeah,
I
100%. I agree. Sean, we gave the player ratings. We know that you're at work, brother. We gave Ten Hag 5 for the second half performance. What do you give Ten Hag? Because I think he should have managed that game in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, like I give him worse than that. You know, I came into this originally with smoke for Ten Hag. I think this draw today is completely on him. And that doesn't mean I'm Ten Hag out or anything like that. For me,
You
like
can criticize the performance.
yeah,
100%.
nah. For me, he gets like a 3, like a 3 over 10 today. I think he was trying to be too clever by half. And it cost us both 3 points and Casemiro for the Arsenal game.
I think the Casemiro for the Arsenal game is one of those things for me. We have to play the game and we have to try to get 3 points. To me, Arsenal will take.
No, wait, think already. Like it's the mentality, it's the mindset. Like
no, I understand that, but we can't become Sean. We can't become a one-man team, brother. We can't. We can't become a one-man.
But here's the issue, though. We lost control of the game. That's why you got the yellow card. That's that simple.
Yeah. No, but I don't know. Like I don't know what Ten Hag was thinking. But as far as I was concerned, I knew Casemiro was going to get a yellow card in this game if he started. His tackles, sometimes he gets them, but a lot of the time there was one tackle against Man City. I think he was trying to tackle Grealish. He just dove in. Like he has these moments of like madness where he just like dives in 2-footed and stuff like that. So it was clear he was going to get there. It was clear he was going to get a yellow card today. And you know, I was arguing earlier about like the whole McTominay team. If you think we shouldn't be too reliant on one player, don't tell me. Tell Ten Hag. It's for him to know and understand that you cannot build your team around a 31-year-old defensive midfielder and a 30-year-old playmaker and Eriksen and Casemiro. Those are our first team players for sure. But we need to be investing in an understudy for Eriksen. And if people don't like McTominay, then we need to replace him as Casemiro's understudy. That's how I see it.
Yeah. Big up Muhammad Ali. He works in that world. He knows about finances and stuff like that. Thank you, bro. But he said the reason why the stock price hasn't fallen, traffic attracts people, money, and all that's happening. It's a pump before the final big dump. Narrative is set now. It's time to unveil bids while the stock price.
But remember, I told you when we first talked about this Glazers acquisition. I was telling everyone that it's going to take like a year or a year and a half. The amount of diligence required, like if you're trying to buy something that's $20 million, it'll take you a long time. Not to talk of something that's 6 billion or 7 billion. You would want to turn over every single leaf, every single cabinet, every single expenditure, whether it's fork, spoon, knife. You need to account, like there's a lot that would need to happen before the sale can be complete.
And all that too. Yeah.
Yeah. Now listen, I said the same, but me and Tom have got a bet on. Big up one, Tom Journalist one. We've got a bet on, and that's how it is. But big up to every one of you. Smash a like on the video on your way out, please. We've had 300 people here at any one time tonight through the whole hour, which is a fantastic for the channel. Big up, because real, authentic fan opinion. We don't shy away. Everybody gets criticized. We praise them. We judge everybody on the performance. Nobody's manager in, manager out, because we know we're controlled by the Glazers and the structure is what it is. So we judge them game to game. And tonight, the second half performance, Manchester United are lucky to get away with 1-1, because if it wasn't Wan-Bissaka, we concede a second, and we lose the game in a crazy split of 10 minutes.
I think it was more than the second half. Like, and I'm sorry if I'm just like hogging the mic or anything, but even the first half as well. Like, I thought Luke Shaw looked very sloppy. Like today in the first half as well. I thought Bruno looked off the pace. I thought Rashford looked off the pace, and I'm worried. Like, I can't lie, I'm worried about the Arsenal game, because I think the way I see football, for me, the football outcome is about 35% actual skill, actual ability, and the remaining 65% is mental, is what's going on up here. Like, that's the majority of the outcome, because form and confidence are the most important things basically that you need as a player to go. And both the form and confidence, I think, are shot based on the game today. And Ten Hag would need to really, really show up on Sunday, and the team needs to, like, by any means necessary.
Yeah, big up. Appreciate you, King. Appreciate you and love. Steve, go ahead. So you're looking forward to the rest of the season, and I think you're gonna smash them on Saturday. You're gonna get the 3 points. I'll be shocked if they beat you or you don't get the 3 points. You know what I mean? I think you're gonna win. Were you confident about that game?
Yeah, I mean, it does throw a little a wrench in the system that we don't have Bruno Guimaraes. But to be fair, he got subbed off at halftime against Fulham, and Fulham are really they're really impressive side this year. I think they've been well drilled, clear identity, goals through Mitrovic, João Paulinho, fantastic. But we still managed to beat them without Guimaraes. So I expect to win against Palace on Saturday. But Selhurst Park is a tough place, nice little atmosphere and whatnot. So it could be tricky, but I can see us keeping another clean sheet. But having said that, you guys should have probably kept a clean sheet. It took a wonder goal. You were so close. So anything can happen. I'll go 2-1 Newcastle. I'll say Isak with the brace. Something like that.
There you go. Big up. Mo, so you're confident, you're buoyant, you're like majority Arsenal fans I see on social media tonight. You've already won the game, so the 3 points are already in the bag, yeah?
I wouldn't say that. The reason why I wouldn't say that.
No. Are you kidding me? Are you going to try to play the... Are you going to try to play the...
Okay, look, I'll be honest. I'm confident that we can beat you, yeah? But that doesn't say that, for sure that we're going to win. No. What I can say is I'm confident we'll get the job done. And if we don't...
You can't predict the result, but are you confident of getting a 3 points?
100%. I am more than confident. And even right now, Erik Ten Hag has, in a way, called out Arteta and the Arsenal squad. He said, we've beaten them without Casemiro. We can do it again. So in a way, he's sending a little shot before the game. So it should be an interesting game. It should be that type of game, the type of game where the dog comes out of you. So I mean, and one other thing I was gonna point out as well is with Arsenal, we've got threats all over the pitch. If, let's say, Martinelli is neutralized, you have to deal with Saka. You have to deal with Odegaard. Even Xhaka, who's got like 10 GA. You got to deal with Partey, who's going to be the... Again, Partey's passing and his shooting abilities have improved drastically. You give him a yard of space, he'll probably get a top bins. I mean, that screamer that he almost scored against Tottenham.
Yeah.
I was going to say as well... Yeah,
but it's form now, and I think Arsenal is an example of why I don't buy this squad depth argument, because Arsenal effectively have no squad depth, like essentially, but they are on mad form, and the players are extremely confident, so they're able to go into every game with more confidence than their opponent and able to turn teams over. So even if like somebody drops off, like Arsenal only have effectively 12 players, 12 I guess players that are worth reckoning with, and even those 12 under a different manager.
I would say Smith Rowe, Vieira is a good replacement. I mean, every time he comes on, he performs well. Smith Rowe, Vieira, and
the thing about it is that majority of their squad has been with this manager for 3 years, Sean. So after 3 years, we'll be judging Ten Hag on the way we dominate games and the confidence that we get.
I mean, so, I don't know if that's exactly the case though, because Saliba came back from loan. Gabriel was a recent signing.
Yeah, but you know what?
Came from a new team.
Listen,
like Partey had been injured for a long time.
Let me finish. It's easier to install 3. Listen, so I'll tell you now. Shevchenko and Jesus already know the way they play. He already knows about those 2 players. Yeah, he already knows the way those 2 players play because he was number 2 on the Pep. He already knew how they played. So instilling the mentality into the way Arsenal are playing now, it's easy. It's continuation. This guy was their coach. Well, the majority of times when they've been at Man City. So, Saliba is the one that's the big surprise, and he's having a wonderful season. But the rest of the Arsenal, last season, they played fantastically, but they ran out of, like, not having...
Too many injuries.
They ran out, but they were still ripping teams and playing really good football last season. And they should have finished top 4 last season. But the last couple of games, the pressure got to them, and then they just do what Arsenal do. But... he's been with them for 3 years, and now they finally get the full system. They get it. They understand the system completely, in, out, in possession, out of possession, how they move teams because of 3 years of work. That was inconsistent. The difference is that this season, with the 3 additional players in the spine, they've been more consistent. That's the difference. Because this guy has already been a good coach. He was already a fantastic coach.
I will lie. Maybe it's so just like maybe it's.
I judge Jose after 2.5 years. I'm gonna judge. I judge Oli after 3 years nearly, and Ten Hag is gonna get 2.5 years for me. But big up to everybody.
I was gonna say, wouldn't you say managers also need that tenacity and that type of venomous behavior towards in the touchline for them to succeed? Because again, you need to have that coldness about you. Arteta requires no bullshit.
You know what? Ten Hag usually has that, but second half today he didn't. He didn't.
I mean, Arteta, if you slack, if he sees you walking around, if he sees you not 100%, he will scream at you as a first warning. And if you continue doing that, then he's going to stop you up.
To be fair, Mo, I think that is Arsenal's is a strength, but I also think it's a weakness. I think that is the inroad that we have. If we have one inroad to beat Arsenal this weekend, I think we can take advantage of Arteta's gragra, like his energy and all that smoke that he has. I think we can poke them. I think with the right players, we can get those under their skin and then take advantage of that.
Is that what you mean, Sean? You say
we've got too many leaders. No. We've got too many leaders. Zinchenko, he's got insane mentality. The way that guy drives to the midfield, and when we're ball down, he's always pointing at everybody.
Listen, that's fighting talk. Big up, Mo. Yassa, I'll see you in the next one. But big up to everybody, please. I just want to say, Sean, Tom, let me just correct this now so you can follow him on Twitter. Please, brother, let me know about the podcast, the name of the podcast. Shout the podcast out.
Yeah, it's called How We See Things. If you're interested in nuanced commentary on everything politics in the US, in the UK, in Africa, all over the world, social issues, we cover all the stuff. It's called How We See Things. You can find it on anywhere you get your podcasts.
There you go. Big up. Mo, are you on Twitter?
No, but yeah, I'm on YouTube. You can subscribe to my YouTube, which
What's your channel?
it's called JC. I've not done anything yet, but I plan to do it in the future.
Okay, you can come back and say big up Steve. Steve NFTV.
Newcastle Fans TV.
Yeah, Newcastle, and then Stephen Maka. How do you say your second name?
Mahala. It's Polish.
Mahala, yeah.
Silent C. Yeah.
Yeah. Stephen Mahala. So make sure you give Steve. You on Twitter? Make sure you follow me and we follow back. Or send me a message and we follow each other. All right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And then we'll do a preview when we play you next away at the game. And anytime you want to jump on as well, love, brother. Awesome. Yasser, let the people know on Twitter where they can follow you.
Yeah, so it's Prince_Yaz. My name is Yasser Saeed. So I'm following Notre Dame. So yeah, I mean I've avoided spaces as of recently, but you know.
Yeah. Well, big up to you. Listen, big up to every one of you. Please smash a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Let people know that we're on a drive to get this channel to 7,000 by the middle of February. So let's go, people. Let people know about the channel. And it's a community, and everybody's welcome. Everybody's welcome here. We talk about football. We're football lovers, and everybody gets involved in the comments. We're a community. Therapy Army, it's been one of those nights. To me, thinking about it, the game now, 1-1. We didn't deserve to win the game. Second half performance. We didn't deserve to win. And actually, we were lucky that Wan-Bissaka made that last-ditch challenge. So big up to everybody. Love and light to all of you. Big up all the regulars. And we'll see you for the build-up for the Arsenal game. But take care. Love, light, United tonight. It is what it is. We're not there yet, people. We can't mix it with the big boys because to me, if you're looking for a title challenge, by any means, I said it on the preview, by any means necessary, you go there and get the 3 points. Regardless how you do it, and we didn't do that. But big up to everybody. Hold tight, Steve. Hold tight, Yasser. Big up, Mo, the gunner. And big up, Sean, always. Love. And it's been a pleasure, people. Win, lose, or draw, glaze us out, bank us out. Take care, people. Love and light.
Take care.
Yourselves.
Peace out.